We don't have to do this if you don't want. I can end the video right now because it would save me and yourself a lot of pain. Bournemouth, I said they'll finish 10th, they're actually 2nd. It's going to be a long video. I'm just surprised that they haven't been affected more seriously by the amount of players that they lost in the summer. They lost Wilson, Ake, Ramsdale, Fraser, just to name a few. I thought that amount of players plus more was going to take its toll on them. And a manager that's inexperienced in Jason Tindall, but clearly they had enough quality in the squad. The second. Barnsley, I said they've finished 18th and they're actually 13th. And they've been higher than that quite often this season as well. They ended last season very strongly. Of course, they had to beat Forest and Brentford, and they beat both of them. And quite clearly, they've kept that momentum going into this season, and I'm not even that surprised, even with losing Gerhard Struber as their manager. It's not affected them quite clearly. They've actually got better. They've actually got some pretty decent players as well. Corley Woodrow's got 7 goals this season. Alex Mowat has been a top player now for many seasons. He can score a banger. He definitely knows how to score a banger. Alright, this one's actually not even that bad. Birmingham City, I said they'll be 15th. They're actually 17th. Even though they have actually done worse than I predicted, I'm kind of surprised that I didn't put them higher than this initially. I thought Karanka would get them going. It's someone that I rate highly, because I still don't think we should have got rid of him, or he should have walked from Forest. Inconsistency is quite clearly what cost Birmingham. They went from beating Brentford on the opening day to losing 4-1 at home to Middlesbrough. Yeah. Blackburn Rovers, I said they'd be 12th and they're actually in 11th, so that's not even that bad. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were to push for the playoffs. They have been in the playoffs at times this season. They actually had a really good start to the season, but again, all but exactly like Birmingham. Inconsistency, and if they weren't quite as inconsistent, they'll be a lot higher. Another one that I've got just one place out, Brentford, I said they'll be 3rd and they're actually 4th, so that's not bad. They had a bit of a slow start, of course, to this season, but I think it's quite incredible, really, that they signed Ivan Toney from Peterborough, and people are thinking, well, I mean, he was good in League One, but can he really cut it in the Championship? Or more like, is he capable of replacing Ollie Watkins? Yes, he is. He really, really is. 20 appearances, 16 goals. For someone that has never played in the Championship before August. That is not even August, it's September. But still, that is very impressive. Bristol City, I said they'd be 14th, and they're actually in 9th. Yeah, that is pretty bad, really, isn't it? At the start of the season, Bristol actually were top of the league for quite a bit, so they have kind of dropped off. They're always one of those teams that if you think, okay, they have a little bit more quality in their squad and they just were a little bit more consistent, they could definitely get the playoffs, and that's been their thing the last few years. Coventry City, I said they'd be in 21st, and they're actually in 18th. So, not bad, I suppose. I don't even really know why I said they'll stay up, because I didn't really know much about Coventry at the start of the season, but they appear to me to be the kind of team that always will give you a good game, but at the end of the day, their just lack of quality against other teams in the league will end up costing them. Cardiff City, I said they'd be in 4th, they're actually in 10th. Honestly, Cardiff City, you're the ones that should be embarrassed by this, not me. Maybe they're hungover from losing in the playoffs last season, but honestly, I don't understand with the squad they've got and with the manager they've got in Neil Harris. I just don't understand why they're doing so poor. Derby County, I said they'd be in 9th and they're actually in 22nd. What a rotten bit of luck. I've heard a lot of the same thing from quite a few Derby fans. They're all saying the same thing. They haven't got enough money to really properly invest in the squad. They've lost quite a lot of key players. They literally sold their 2 best fullbacks in the summer to Sheffield United, only to get relegated again in Lowe and Jaden Bogle. And I really don't understand why, in a season where they're really struggling, okay, and I'm not just saying that just because it's Derby, I said it's about anyone. You've got a player like Wayne Rooney available, forget his age. Surely a player like that would quite significantly improve you, yet you decide to make him your manager. He's never managed a club before, yet you think he's the right man to lead you forward. Surely you want Rooney on the pitch right now. Huddersfield Town, I said 20th, they're actually in 12th. Okay, they're higher than I thought. Those 2 years in the Premier League was kind of a miracle really for Huddersfield, and now they're just back to being a bottom end championship side, unfortunately. But 12th, that's the highest I've seen them this season for quite a while. And I think we have to mention it, losing Carlin Grant has been a massive, massive blow, and they didn't even really replace him at all. Luton, I said 19th place, and they're actually in 14th. To be fair to them, they've actually been higher than that for quite a bit of the season. However, a bit like Barnsley, they ended last season really strongly, managed to stay up when they looked down and out at one stage, and it's continued into this season quite clearly. Yet again, James Collins has been playing a huge part in this with his 9 goals this season, getting results against Norwich and Derby, just thought I'd mention that. Middlesbrough, I said they'll be 13th, and they're actually in 6th. Why did I put them 13th? Why? I don't understand that. Under Neil Warnock, they were always going to do well. I'm pretty sure I would have said that. Yet I still put them in 13th. It's kind of strange with Borough, really, because before last season, they had 2 straight years where they were fighting for top 6 until they bottled it, and then they were in a relegation scrap. That kind of rings a few vibes about one team that I tend to talk about on this channel. Millwall, I said they'll be 7th. They're actually 16th. I'm actually really quite surprised that they haven't done better than that, because they ended last season very strongly, and at times they were in the playoffs. This season, they're nowhere near it. And I'm kind of surprised that Troy Parrott's not made a bigger impact at Millwall. He's made 8 appearances and not scored a single goal yet. Norwich City, I said they'll be 2nd, and they're actually in 1st. Very, very unsurprising. They're a classic yo-yo team. They're terrible in the Premier League, but when they come down to the Championship, they can just walk it. And I think it's really helped the fact that they've kept hold of a lot more key players than I expected. Pukki's still there, Max Aarons, Cantwell, Buendia. All those key players are still at Norwich, and that's made a huge impact quite clearly, plus new signings as well. Here we go then. Nottingham Forest, 5th place. They're actually 20th. Again, I'm not the one that should be embarrassed. Forest are the ones that should be embarrassed. I honestly thought we'd bounce back after how last season ended, but clearly not. We've capitulated, and that's what I'm going to say. Preston North End, I said they'll be 11th place, and they're actually in 15th. It's been a very, very Preston kind of season, really. Just like they go from being really good to pretty terrible. It just tends to be what Preston do. Very inconsistent, and I think if they had a little bit more quality just overall in the squad, they would be top 6. I really do think they would be, but just inconsistencies cost them. QPR 16th, and they're actually in 19th. I actually overestimated QPR here, and I think what doesn't help is they're just, at the end of the day, not really good enough. And I just think with a little bit more investment and maybe a better manager, because I've seen a lot of QPR fans wanting Warburton out. Is that the right decision? I don't know, because I'm not there firsthand. I didn't rate him that highly when he was at Forest, so maybe it is time for him to move on. Rotherham United, I said 24th, and they're actually in 19th. I don't know why I said they'd be rock bottom. I really don't understand that. Even though they are higher than where I predicted, I just don't think Rotherham are good enough at the end of the day. Again, like Norwich, but the other way. They're a classic yo-yo team. They can walk League One, but they just aren't ready or aren't good enough for the Championship. And this has been the case for years now with Rotherham. Reading, 17th. They're actually 8th. And they've been a lot higher than that most of the season. This is actually the first time they've been out of the playoffs in a very long time. I think everyone's kind of underestimated just how good Lucas João is going to be for them. 14 goals in 18 games so far this season. That's very impressive. They've still had a few slip-ups, like they were top of the league quite comfortably at one stage, and then they lost 4 in a row. You know, that's just the Championship in a nutshell. Sheffield Wednesday, I said 22nd, and they're actually 24th. When you're dot minus 12 points, psychologically, that's going to be a complete game changer for you. An overall lack of goals and the amount of goals that they're conceding is also quite seriously costing them. Only 12 goals this season and 29 conceded, the most in the league. Stoke City, I said they'd be 8th, and actually, as near as damn it, they're 7th. We all knew that last season Stoke had a really poor team, and this season it's showing that they're much better than that, you know, because as soon as Michael O'Neill came in, they were on really good form. I think they were genuinely on promotion form. And that, again, like Barnsley and Luton, it's continued into this season. Swansea, I said 6th place, and they're actually in 3rd. So I actually underestimated them here. Pretty standard. I'm not at all surprised that they're doing better than I thought. They're a very good team, hard to beat. They'll be up there. Watford, I said first, and they're actually in 5th, and apparently that is sackable. Because it is Watford, they sacked Vladimir Ivic for being in 5th place, which is pretty embarrassing. But Watford will be up there, easy, no doubt about that. Wycombe Wanderers, I said 23rd, and they're actually 24th. Yeah, most of the season they've actually been in 23rd. But they're not now, so I don't know why I said that. And I think like Coventry, they're a team that will always give you a good game. They'll always fight hard, but at the end of the day, their overall quality just won't be good enough for them. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. That was my reaction to my championship predictions. I'll be doing it for the Premier League probably next week. I think probably like Wednesday or something next week. So yeah, please stay tuned for that. Let me know as well going forward what football videos I should do, because I really want to try and do just more general football talk videos going forward. Like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and I'll see you very soon on Boxing Day for 2 streams, Forest v Birmingham and a Christmas quiz straight afterwards. So a lot of content on Boxing Day to hopefully make this Christmas actually feel like Christmas. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Merry Christmas.